Welcome to this lesson on how to use the safety response to reduce anxiety. This is a tool that you can use anywhere when you're feeling anxious or triggered. So when we get triggered, what a lot of us tend to do is try to think about our problem until it goes away, or try to distract ourselves, or give ourselves some form of self-assurance. The safety response takes a totally different approach that helps you to feel relaxed and grounded in your body by speaking directly to your nervous system. Now, the basic science behind the safety response is that we're using the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve is a large nerve that connects all of the organs in your body with your brain. Now, the vagus nerve sends information in two directions: up from your organs into your brain, and from your brain into your organs. Now, what's quite powerful about the vagus nerve and is key to the effectiveness of the safety response is how the vagus nerve communicates. Now, how that works is that 70% of the information that the vagus nerve sends goes from the body into the brain, and only 30% goes from the brain to the body. And since the majority of the connections are going into the brain, what this means is that we can use the body to teach the brain a different story about what's happening when you feel anxious or triggered. And when we use the safety response, what we're actually doing is telling the brain, my body is safe right now. I don't need to be triggered. I can relax. And this is done using the different tools in the safety response. So there are 4 different parts to the safety response, and I'm going to teach each of them to you now. And I invite you to follow along with me and practice this tool as I teach it to you. So the first step in the safety response is placing your hands over your low belly and your heart. Now, the low belly is where we create safety. When we're feeling anxious, a lot of the time what's happening is we're not breathing properly into the low belly. And the other thing about the low belly is that it's the only part of our torso that isn't protected with bone. It's a very vulnerable place. And when we place a hand over top of it, we're telling ourselves, I am safe. I am protected. Now we place a hand over the heart space to tell ourselves, I am safe. My heart is protected. And with the low belly and the heart at the same time, what we can do is a bit of rubbing. So just try that right now, placing your hands here and just rubbing them gently, and perhaps closing your eyes if that feels supportive. And just noticing how grounding and supportive it can feel to just protect your torso like this. So just spending a little while here, trying this out, letting your shoulders relax. And so at any point, if you get triggered, what you can do is just bring your hands here, and you can apply a bit of pressure, you can do a bit of rubbing, or just holding ourselves. This is like giving ourselves a big hug. And this feeling of being held is sending a signal to the brain that I am protected. My most vulnerable places, my heart and my low belly, are safe. And you might find that this is quite calming on its own. Now, the second part of the safety response is deep breathing. And we do this starting in the nose into the low belly. And then as the low belly fills, we let the air rise up into the chest. So keeping your hands in the safety position here, and just starting to breathe in through your nose. Focusing on the low belly, and then letting the air rise up into the chest. So I'll just do this a few times here to demonstrate. So you can do this with a count of 4 or 5 seconds in. If your breathing capacity is a little bit more shallow than that, you might do 3 seconds or 4 seconds. But the point is we want to be breathing slowly, deeply, and fully through the nose. And what this slow breathing through the nose is doing is activating our parasympathetic nervous system. You don't need to understand the parasympathetic nervous system. All you need to know is that it's the part of the nervous system that calms our body down, that brings us into rest and digest. And a lot of the time when we're really anxious, we'll breathe in really quickly and gasp. And what that's doing is jumping the heart rate up, telling the body, I need as much air as I can right now in order to be safe and go and run from a predator or something like that. And when we breathe in slowly and out slowly, we're telling the body, I am safe here. I don't need to be breathing quickly. Now, the third part of the safety response is the affirmation, I am creating safety. And if there are different words that feel more supportive for you, you can say those to yourself instead. But this is where I invite you to close your eyes. And as you hold yourself here at your low belly and your heart, breathing slowly and deeply into the nose, this is where you can optionally close your eyes and say the affirmation, I am creating safety. And you can say this out loud or just in your head. Either is fine. And when we use this affirmation around safety, what we're doing is speaking to the intellectual mind while we use our hands and our breath to speak to the emotional body. So these are the first three parts of the safety position. Placing our hands over the low belly and the heart, breathing in deeply and slowly from the nose to the low belly, and then filling up the torso. And then the affirmation, I am creating safety, or I am safe. So now the fourth and most powerful part of the safety response is using your voice to vibrate your body and create a felt sense of safety and control. So we can use any noise for this, but what I would suggest to start off with is using the word Om. So what I invite you to do is to take a deep inhale through the nose like we've been doing, and then on your exhale, making the noise Om as you exhale. So do it with me here. Om. And what you'll notice as you tone, as you use the noise to vibrate the body, is that you can actually feel different sounds vibrating different parts of your body. Ah will vibrate the chest. Ah will vibrate lower down. And will vibrate the jaw. And if you're feeling tension or anxiety in a specific part of your torso or your jaw, you can actually use a different noise to vibrate that part of the body over and over again. And it's very calming. And it's using that vagus nerve to tell the brain, I am safe. I am in control. So I invite you now to combine these four tools, placing your hands over your low belly and your heart and rubbing if that feels supportive for you. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose into the low belly, and then filling up the chest, and then a relaxed exhale. Using the affirmation, I am safe, or some variation of it, and optionally closing your eyes. And then finally, using the voice to vibrate your body on the exhale. So I'll just do these all together here. So placing the hands over the low belly and the heart, and just breathing deeply in and out through the nose. Next, optionally repeating the affirmation, I am safe, or I am creating safety in your head as you do this. And finally, using your voice to vibrate your body on the exhale. Oh. Oh. And there you have it. Those are the four components of the safety response. Now, you can use these anywhere in your life, including when you're in public. And if you're in public, you might not want to use all of them at the same time. You might keep your eyes open. You might not feel safe putting your hands here. Or you might choose to vibrate your body very quietly with just a gentle noise. And you can use these tools of the safety response anytime you feel triggered or anxious. And I encourage you to spend some time now exploring which ones feel the most supportive for you, or whether you like to do them all together. Now, there's no right or wrong way to do this. The only thing I would say is don't hold your breath, because that's going to make your heart beat faster and that's going to make you more anxious. Now, I would suggest using this tool every day for 2 to 5 minutes, just to practice using it on a daily basis and helping you to train your body to feel safe. Now, at times, I've used the safety response for up to 30 minutes at a time when I was feeling really triggered and anxious. So be persistent and stick with it until you feel safe in your body. Sometimes you might feel relaxed in as little as 30 seconds, and sometimes it might take a few minutes or longer. Again, this is all about listening to your body and using these tools to tell your mind a different story. So, with that, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, you can send me an email and I'll provide the link to do that below. Thank you for watching.